Hi guys and welcome back. Today I'm going to be taking you through a back workout with a handful of exercises that I normally perform on back day. The audio quality for these videos wasn't great, so I've decided to do a voiceover instead, just to make these descriptions a little bit clearer. I always try to start my back day with deadlifts, starting with a compound movement at the beginning where I have the most energy. Tends to work quite well, so I can put the most into that exercise and I can try and get as heavy or as many reps out as I can before moving on to some more isolation or specified back movements. I'll do a warm-up set or a couple of warm-up sets of around 10 to 12 reps before getting into the heavier sets of around 6 to 8 rep range. So that's the rep range that we're really looking to focus on for this particular exercise and for this particular section. When you're starting off your back day, you want to try and be working the heavier sets and going in that 6 to 8 rep range. Key areas to focus on, particularly with your deadlift, is going to be your form, looking at your back and keeping your back straight, making sure that you've got your core tense and you're focusing on keeping that core tight and engaged throughout the entire movement. You want to be driving through your heels and pushing that chest out at the top of that movement, so really keeping your shoulders back, pushing that chest out and getting a full contraction at the top of that workout. My preference for grip tends to be an alternate grip unless I'm using straps. If I'm using straps, I'll be using an overhand grip just because it is easier to use the straps with those. You can do both overhand, but I tend to find that my grip fails a lot faster on the overhand rather than using the alternate grip for most barbell or specifically for deadlift movements. Things that I'd recommend when you start to lift a bit heavier, so when I get into some of my heavier sets, I would start using a weight belt, and again, as I showed, I do use some straps just because my forearms aren't too strong. They do tend to fail a lot quicker than my back, so I can't always get to the rep range I need or to the weight I need because my forearms tend to fail a lot faster. So getting a couple of straps just to get you up to that higher rep range, or just to get you that little bit of weight added onto the bar, really can help. The next exercise that I do is bent over dumbbell rows. I normally use a bench, or you can use the rack that you have the dumbbells on. You want to focus again on keeping that back straight, bending over, and you want to be pulling through with your elbow and driving through with the elbow rather than focusing on the hand and pulling using the bicep as much. You want to really focus on getting that mind to muscle connection with your lats and with that top half of your back. You'll do, again, you don't necessarily need to do a warm-up set for these. Your back tends to be a little bit warm already from the first exercise you've already done. Maybe do one set of warm-ups and then get straight into your 6 to 8 rep range again. And we want to be performing about 3 to 4, maybe 3 to 5 sets of this particular exercise. Really pulling through with that elbow and focusing on pulling using those lats rather than those biceps. The biceps are going to be working a little bit, but they are the secondary muscle. You want to be using that back as the primary muscle for these movements. Our third exercise is again going to be a rowing movement. This time we're going to be using the overhand grip on the top grip so that we get a slightly different movement in our back from the exercise just before. using the top movement, you'll be pulling out your arm so that it's roughly parallel to your shoulder and at the same height as your shoulder, so you're pulling them out wide rather than keeping your elbows closer to your chest and keeping the arm and the movement closer. So this will work a slightly different part or a slightly different angle of your back, really helping to get all areas of your back contracted and worked. Again, you want to be pulling through with the elbow and always focusing on trying to use your back muscles and your lat to pull through with these exercises. For this particular exercise, I usually do around 3 sets and try and focus on about an 8 to 10 rep range. So we aren't going as heavy as the previous 2 exercises. We're trying to get a slightly higher rep range, but we're trying to get a real mind to muscle connection, really trying to fatigue our muscles now that we're getting into the later stages of our back exercises. We want to try and focus on doing relatively slow and relatively controlled contractions so that we can really get a good squeeze on those top lat muscles. The last 2 exercises that I do will be lat pull down. So I'll be doing a slightly wider than shoulder width grip for a lat pull down and then swapping it out for a close grip lat pull down as well. Both of about 3 sets in the 8 to 10 rep range. Having your elbows out and then having your close grip elbows in helps to work all those different areas of your back to really get a good contraction and to really fatigue your back muscles and your lats towards the end of the back workout. You want to focus on really doing some slow, controlled reps and squeezing right at the bottom, trying to squeeze those shoulder blades together. I normally do a couple of arm exercises towards the end of my back routine, just as it does incorporate some biceps as well, but I'll probably use those in a separate video and show you an arm workout separately. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I've done a short edit of my workout towards the end of this, so I hope you like that as well. I played around with a couple of different angles and a couple of different effects to try and get something quite good. So again, if you do like that, give it a thumbs up and I'll see you in the next one.
Taking me down and out, you made it look like it was easy, so easy. Lifting me off the ground, I'm moving on like it was easy, so easy. This could be breaking me down. It's just that I know better now. This could be breaking me down, but everything looks different now. That's the old me. Your love were smoke and mirrors. Your love was just a game, but now I'm seeing clearer. Watch me forget your name. I bet my life upon it. I'm moving past you now. There'll be no holding me down, down, down. This could be breaking me down, down. It's just that I know better now. This could be breaking me down, but everything looks different now. Think you know me? I'll leave you lonely. Think you know me? I feel you now. That's the old me. I tell you now, that's the old me. Oh, you think you know me? I tell you